Why are you being and time? This is a question that Martin Heidegger, German philosopher, explored in the 19th century. He tried to decode the mystery of human existence, whether human is more being or time, or both, or the being of time and the time of being. Actually, this question is highly philosophical and can have individual interpretations. There is no simple answer to this. Coming to his theory, time and being, one of the most famous philosophical theories in human history. In this theory, he talks about being, Dasein, calling that being is everywhere. Being is not bounded by time, but on the other hand, time can be something that gives a border to being. So time is not a limitation of being, but on the other hand, they are mutually dependent. There is no time without being, there is no being without time, but on the other hand, there can be time without being. One of the key ideas in his theory is seeing human being as a process or activity rather than just thing or substance. He not heavily saying heavy criticism to Western philosophy, but he criticizes it to some degree, saying that while Western philosophy sees human as just a thing or substance, he contradicts with this, saying that exploring human nature as a process or activity, something developing. He wanted to find not only who you are, who human being is, but the meaning of existence, the meaning of change, the meaning of development, so human as a process. In my view, human is both. Human is both a thing, substance, and also a process. Human is developing, but on the other hand, the very nature, the very substance that exists in human being cannot be changed even under circumstances. As there's a quote about this, that the circumstances of life doesn't create you, but just unmasks your true essence. So this is a hard question, but in viewing human as a process, and both as a process and the substance, make it more comprehensive. So I agree with both with the Western philosophers and overall Western philosophy and Martin Heidegger's view on human as a process. Human is a process, is like a flowing river. Human is also being processed through all the things that happen to them. Another key idea in Heidegger's theory is related to another concept, ready to hand and present at hand. Ready to hand means a skill. You see reality, you see things as a tool in your hand. But Heidegger fosters the other option, present at hand. Let's view it in terms of hope. What is hope when you just talk about it mechanically, hoping for something, for a better tomorrow, for your dreams realization, etc. So hope is like a tool, like an instrument, without emotional layers that may enhance your resilience. In that way, it's just ready to hand. But if you see your whole life in the presence of hope, hope becomes present at hand. So Heidegger fosters present at hand, presence of meaning, presence of something beautiful, something meaningful in your life, and your life overall to be meaningful and valuable, like a presence, not just like as a tool, as something mechanical. But I would like to, of course, I'm not trying to contrast a gigantic thinker like Heidegger, but to some degree it can be a bit contrasting to him in terms of this. I totally agree with him. Ready to hand, present at hand, these options in terms of good things, in terms of beautiful things. But when it comes to something gray, something gloomy, or life annoying, it's better to use it as a tool, ready to hand. For example, let's talk about anger, existential anger. I'm not talking about just the day-to-day anger on small or big things, etc. But overall, a ready to hand would mean using your disappointment, using your collapsed illusions, your disappointments, existential disappointments, for example, when you hoped something better, but it didn't happen, etc. It shouldn't be present at hand. It shouldn't overlay your whole life. It should be just ready to hand, just a tool. The same refers to despair. Despair should just be present, ready to hand, just a tool, like a hammer, but not full presence. So to sum up, it's good to give presence only beautiful and meaningful things in your life. But what's negative, what's gloomy, you should give them only ready to hand. So just a tool, I mean. Another a key idea in his work is care. He talks about human cares, human worries, human challenges. As Richard Bach says, you should have the exaltation, the joy of being flying above your cares, above your daily cares. So care shouldn't become the definition of your days and your feelings. You cannot change your cares, but you can be above them. You can fly above your cares, you can fly above your challenges, and you can see reality differently from a completely different point of view. Another thing here he talks about in his theory, it's an anxiety. And it's not about just the clinical psychological level and anxiety, like when an anxiety is discussed in an anxiety disorder, etc., or just day-to-day anxieties. It's also about them, but not only. It's beyond them. It's existential anxiety. It's about transcendental anxiety when you don't know how to transform your life for the better, how to transform your challenges into opportunities, how to find something meaningful in your life, for example, a better education, better career prospects, etc. Something that will give weight, existential weight to your living, to your being, to your nature as a human. He also talks about authenticity, being true to yourself. Authenticity is not only about who you are, but who you want or should be. If you maybe someone, let's remember the famous song, a Coolio song, "Gangster's Paradise." Let's consider gangsters. If they are authentic to themselves, they shouldn't be authentic to themselves. It's not, I think they haven't found yet their authentic selves, because authenticity is related to morality and truth. And in that case, it means you should only be true to yourself if yourself is based on moral values, truth, ethical truth, moral judgment, and existential reasoning. And also, being authentic to yourself means following your own dreams, having self-respect, self-respect for your challenges, self-respect for your dreams, etc. It all starts from you. You should have it for yourself. Otherwise, it won't be mirrored in others, in society, in other individuals you're interacting with, and on a broader scale to the world. And to sum up, Heidegger's theory highly influenced on Western philosophy and overall philosophical thinking, because it's something pivotal, something highly valuable and lasting in philosophical thinking. I've created my own series, Coffee and Being, changing a bit Heidegger's theory, inspired by his theory. I explore time and human being in terms of coffee, in terms of day-to-day small things that we do and how it shapes our life and existence. I have other videos regarding this, but human being is not defined by itself only. Human being is defined through daily actions, the things you eat, the things you think, the thoughts you have during the day, actions you take, actions you don't take, type of coffee you drink, or if you are not drinking coffee at all. So it all defines your whole personality, and it all is your self-definition, your being of time and the time of being. I wrote a post. I wrote an essay which is available on Substack. It's about coffee. Coffee is time. If Heidegger sees being in the context of time, I see being also in terms of coffee, in terms of daily routines, daily habits, like how coffee is flowing as time, how coffee can be sugar-filled, like human life can be sugar-filled when better times happen to you, or like the embittered coffee when there's less sugar in that, when something pessimistic, something negative happens to you, is like your cup of life, your cup of time becomes a embittered coffee that you wouldn't like to drink, but you have to. There are other dimensions too in regarding this, but overall, to sum up, to conclude, what is the time of being and the being of time? It's a personal, a universal, it's both a personal and universal question. Anyone can respond in their own ways, but it doesn't change their nature, it doesn't change their essence. And what's important is not to lose time, to just to remember that you are part of time and time is part of your being. You may share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, you may also subscribe to my channel to foster the growth of this channel, and also sharing your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.